Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Why is Life So Difficult? Why are we very shy? Q&A with subtitles with Tsem. Let's go to get it started.
Why is life so difficult? Why are we very shy? And how do we get rid of laziness? Life is difficult because we have a perception and we have a projection of life, how life should be. When something in life doesn't fit our projection, then we label that difficult. There can be people living in a wild forest. They have no running water. They have no heat. They have no electricity. And they collect their water from a river and they cook their food with firewood, and their life is very basic and they feel very happy.
I guess I was going to say, we have an expectation. I wonder if that's a better way to put it. Because if it doesn't come, if life doesn't happen to your expectation, then you're going to be disappointed. And generally, your expectation is going to be pretty high. You want your life to be great, so you have high expectations of your life. But that's a decent way of putting it, I suppose, expectation.
And there could be people, and they feel very happy, they feel very fulfilled. There could be people who live in a big city with electric water, air condition, with electric, with water, running water, with air conditioning, and they have all the luxuries and all the delights of a modern house. And they feel like their life is so difficult, they don't have enough, they feel unfulfilled. So basically,
Yes, absolutely. This is 100% true. You can see it definitely in the West, and I wouldn't doubt it that you see this in any place that's developed. Developed cities, even if the country is poor, because obviously there are going to be some cities that are going to be very developed ahead of, essentially everyone, generally the capital, I think. But yes, it's kind of weird, you know, when you see people who have all these luxuries, life's so easy, yet somehow it's so difficult. There's so much more problems. It's really weird.
life is difficult because of our projection and our expectation of what we feel life should be. And when it doesn't fill that expectation, we constantly think about it and we constantly feel sad about it, and we create sufferings for ourselves. Does that mean there is no actual suffering or no actual difficult life? Of course, there are people with difficult life, people who get very sick when they're very young, etc. Life is difficult. Life in samsara is difficult because of ignorance and the actions we create from ignorance. And from that, we have to experience the consequences of the karma we created from ignorance. Why are we shy? We are shy because we have a sense of self called the ego that we feel is very real. So if we do something wrong, we're afraid people are going to laugh at us, people are going to put us down, people are going to criticize us, because we hold on and subscribe to this very strong ego, this sense of self that we are protecting. Then we feel very shy and we dare not say anything or do anything to be criticized.
I will say also, excuse me, that it is very much a survival. I mean, everything our body does is survival. It's really weird to think shyness is survival. When you think of shy, whenever I think of shy, let me put it this way, it's not anything with survival though. But I have a feeling, and I've never really explored shyness. It's just that, you're shy, you don't, not comfortable talking with people. But I'm wondering if that ties into survivability, shyness. Like, if you talk to other people, they could kill you. It's very extreme, but I'm wondering if that's what the survival mechanic for shyness is. What's the purpose of it? What's the purpose does it? Fear obviously makes sense. Where, you don't want to die. But shyness.
How do we get rid of laziness? We get rid of laziness one day at a time. Whatever we need to do, we do it one day. Next day we do it. We don't think about it, we just do it. When we do it one day at a time, we become used to it. It becomes a habit. Okay? Number two, Guru, in our culture, we did many things to make happy a person who is not in this world. Is it compulsory to do that? I would think that this person is talking about doing rituals and pujas and offerings to someone who has passed away. And if we don't do that, they won't be happy. Well, Some people do pass away and become spirits. So they do expect some offerings from us, some tea, some drinks, or something they feel familiar in life, or maybe a conversation. So if they don't get that, they feel unhappy, they create some upset in the family. But in most cases, people who pass away have already taken rebirth. Since they have taken rebirth, whatever you do for them, they're not going to know. So it's not necessary. And I think a lot of cultures who do things for the dead, I think it's more for the living to feel that they have not forgotten the dead. So if your culture says that you have to do it and it's compulsory, maybe you should do it to make people in your family and your village feel happier, but it's not necessarily going to reach the person who has passed away.
And I guess it could show a little bit of appreciation, a little bit of a habit and good practice. When you do something consistently, you tend to translate that to other things in life. So if you're good at doing something consistently, you're generally good at doing other things consistently. It's good practice, good habit, a little bit of respect and humility as well, I think.
Number 3, Leyland Lama says, is there life after death? The whole basis of spirituality of any religion is based on the belief that there is life after death. Life after death definitely exists. In another day, in another session, I'll give you a more clear explanation of how the mind exists and how the mind is independent of the body and how the mind takes rebirth independent of the body. But because it's been quite a long transmission and I don't want to tire people out, just a quick answer. Yes, there is life after death, and there are 6 realms where we can take life after death and different types of rebirth. Okay?
So it's interestingly enough, he says in religions there is definitely life after death. I mean, all of the religions do say that. It's just a matter of where you go. And just interestingly enough, I mean, it's interestingly enough to say Christians kind of believe in the rebirth because Jesus got reborn back into the body as opposed to like a spirit. But for me, say atheist agnostic here, you could in some sense say that I could be reborn later on. Obviously depending if there's millions of years that the earth exists and humanity exists, eventually this structure with this brain chemistry, these eyes, the chemicals in this body will reform back, will find its way back to this body, to this clump of cells, but I just won't have the memory. The brain structure, the thought process, the eye color, the hair color, the how fast my hair grows. Doing enough iterations, eventually all this will come back, and you could in some say that I have been reborn, but not my personality. Maybe the body, the mentality, just not the mind or the experiences. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but I can see it being possible with enough lifetimes. Eventually this body will come back to being one again.
Okay. The next one. Where do we go after death? After death, after we die, where do we go? To 6 realms as specified by the Buddha. And to get into a more learning and understanding, would be very good to read the Lamrim text by His Holiness Kyabje Pabongka Dorji Chang. So if you can get a copy of Pabongka Rinpoche's Lamrim, you'll be able to see more clearly where do we go after death and how do we purify negative karma for those who have passed on. But in short, we can make statues dedicated for the people who have passed on. We can save the lives of animals for those who have passed on. We can print Dharma books for those who have passed on. We can take on the vows of a monk or a nun and hold the vows well and dedicate it for those who have passed on. We can decorate temples We can do charity. We can feed the homeless. We can help those who are sick, and we can dedicate those merits for those who have passed on. So those we can do. They don't receive the full merits, but they'll receive a part of it. Okay, the next one is, how do we purify our pet's karma? Same. How we purify a pet's karma will be the same as purifying a human karma. The method, everything is the same. Next one. I recite Dorje Shugden's mantra every day. What mantra I recite first and what mantra I recite last? Is there a rule? There's no rule. The main mantra that you recite every day, Dorje Shugden, which would be more than enough, is Om Benza Wiki Bitsuna Soha. The variations of his mantra, you can recite as and when you need. You can recite all, you can recite none. There's no fixed rule. How much you should recite, when you should recite, which one is first, which one's last. So the main one you recite is Om Benza Wiki Bitsuna Soha. That would be very good. If you want to recite the other mantras, there's no fixed rule how much or which one's first. Okay? Next one. I don't have an altar at home. Can I pray every day without an altar? Of course you can. As I explained earlier, you don't have to have an altar to pray. Dorje Shugden's everywhere. Next one. What is the karmic impact if the person committing the wrong action do not think it's wrong due to cultural differences, expectations, and understanding? Well, karma is not culture-based. Karma is universal law. Whether a person believes it's negative karma or not, if the action harms, it will be negative karma. So what does that mean? That means that if we commit something that's negative, for example, if we steal, whatever culture we belong to, stealing is negative. Now, why are some people born into certain cultures that they don't believe certain actions are negative? Through karmic propensity, through karmic results, they're born into cultures that feel sometimes negative action is positive. Okay? Someone here does Zambala and Dorje Shugden. Is there any sequence to do Yellow Zambala's prayer? Well, that's very good. Yellow Zambala is a Buddha. It is on the refuge tree. It is a fully enlightened being. And one doesn't need to have any doubts in Yellow Zambala. One should do Yellow Zambala's practice every single day and do it well and recite the mantra well. Om Zambala Zalan Jaya So, Om Zambala Zalan Jaya So. After you finish Zambala's practice, then you do Dorje Shugden's practice, which I've taught you today. All right. Eventually, I'll get this whole thing into Chinese so that people who are Chinese speaking around the world, which I get a lot of questions from, can also do. But do Zambala's practice first, and then afterwards do Dorje Shugden's practice. The Yidam's practice is always first. The Yidam's practice is always first. Okay?
Wonder why there's a particular order to it.
Why are Satrap and Dorje Shugden in the same mandala? I've got some people in my mandala. I wonder why they're in my mandala too. But anyways, why is Dorje Shugden and Satrap in the same mandala? When Dorje Shugden was a teacher, before he arose as a Dharma protector, one of the protectors he practiced was Satrap. So Dorje Shugden, when he was a guru, when he was a teacher, he was practicing Satrap as one of his Dharma protectors. So he's very, very close to Satrap. Because of that, after he arose as Dharma protector, Satrap and him kind of rented a place together and moved in together and became good friends. So after Dorje Shugden became a Dharma protector, they naturally have a strong connection and they work together to benefit others, and they decided to form a mandala together because they had a connection before Dorje Shugden was even a protector. Okay? Another protector that Dorje Shugden is very close to is Four-Faced Mahakala. Four-Faced Mahakala is very, very close. And Four-Faced Mahakala has many forms. He has the Four-Faced Mahakala, and also he appears as a Brahmin, Indian Brahmin, Mahasiddha kind of person. So that's called Brahma Rupa. All right? So Dorje Shugden is also very close to Brahma Rupa, or Four-Faced Mahakala, Gombo Sheshi. Gomu four-faced Makala. Because also during his life, he practiced four-faced Makala as one of his protectors. So Dorjsuden practiced four-faced Makala, and he practiced Brahma Rupa, and he practiced Setrap very intimately. So when he became a protector, he arose, and he's very close to them. Very close. Okay? This was shared to me by my teachers, by the way. Then a person here asked, can I keep giving out Dorji Shuden's pictures and pendants even if I'm not fully understand Dorji Shuden? Of course you can. You can give out Dorji Shuden's pictures, statues, pendants to people even if you don't understand Dorji Shuden well. For example, you don't have to understand what is in a multivitamin. You just know it's good and you can pass out to people. You don't have to wait till you understand the vitamins very well till you pass it out. If you know it's good, you pass it out to people, you pass out, you help them, as long as your motivation is to help them. All right? So can you pass out Dorjsuden to people to other people when you don't understand Dorjsuden well? Of course you can. Passing out something good can never bring something bad. Passing out something good can never bring something bad.
That's very interesting. I would assume, I mean, I get it to a degree, but it's really weird to be passing out something that you don't understand yourself. But I'll say this. For me, I don't understand Advaita Vedanta well, but I do encourage certain people to look into it. But I'm not passing it out to... Well, I'm passing out information and stuff. But I'm not passing out, like, material, I suppose. Because it's to each their own. I wonder if he's saying like selling it though instead of passing it out.
What are the benefits of practicing Dorjsuden related with depression? Well, for depression, we must seek proper medical help. We must go to a proper doctor and sometimes proper medication. When we pray to Dorjsuden and we pray sincerely, a few things happen. Number one, he creates the merit so that you will find the method to end the depression, so that energy of depression will be purified. The second thing is, Dorjsuden will help you find the correct medical doctor, find the resources, and find the medical clinic where it will suit you to get the help that you need. So Dorjsuden in relation to depression can help us in many ways, such as the two examples I just gave. All right?
I will say this. I do believe a lot of the Eastern philosophies, especially Advaita Vedanta, can help you with depression and a lot of the mental illness. The biggest thing, though, is that it's not to say that you should not seek medical help, because you have to be a certain way into these philosophies for it to help you, kind of like saying to not get these mental illness or mental help. Because for me, well, I don't suffer from mental health, depression, anxiety, and all of that, because of again, going back to college, life is suffering. That again started it all. And with that mentality, I kind of changed how I thought about life to where if it's suffering, then I don't want to suffer. And I've beaten kind of my shyness. I remember hate going to, like, I have a speech class where you have to go up and speak in front of everyone. And I'm not that kind of person. I was very shy when I was younger. But it's like, if I have to do this, why be shy about it? Just get it over with. Everyone else has to do it too. So you're not like the only one up there that that is shy. You're not the only unique person in the entirety of the whole world that gets shy when they speak in front of people. So understanding that, me understanding that, and me understanding that there's other people out there who are shy too. It's like, well, I'm in the same boat as them, so they would understand. Much like how I would understand if they're shy too. And that changes a lot of things for me. When you understand certain things, like, again, if you're shy, when you understand that other people are shy too, you're like, well, you know what? They're in the same boat as me, so why should I be shy? This is how it works for me. for you, how to understand things might be a little bit different. Again, maybe understanding that, people, maybe these people and they understand that you're shy, and maybe that will help you over. It's like, well, they understand that I'm shy, so they're going to be lenient on me. So I can go and do my speech. For me, it's understanding that everyone else, well, not everyone, but there are a majority of people is shy going and speak in front of people. So knowing that, it's like, well, everyone else is shy too, so I'm not the only one. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake, Just keep on going. I need this for my grades.
The next one is, how do we know how much negative karma do we have, or do we just continue prayers consistently? You know your negative karma has ended and finished when you're sitting next to Shakyamuni Buddha and having coffee. No, that's a joke. You know your negative karma has ended when you yourself have become a Buddha. Until you're a Buddha, you know that you have karma to purify. So we should consistently do our prayers. Along with that, study of Dharma, application of Dharma, meditation, and holding vows. Okay? And after you start Dorje Shugden's practice, you may have some funny accidents. You may have some strange dreams. Or you may have some weird feelings or a little bit ups and downs. That's a very good sign. Why is that a very good sign? It means that this practice is purifying and straightening out your life. So if negative things are happening when you start doing Dorje Shugden's practice or Buddha's practice or any of these practices, it means the karma is being purified. How does it get purified? You have to experience the karma. It has to come out. It has to come out in a dream, or it has to come out by you experiencing it. So if negative things happen, or funny things happen, or accidents or whatever happened in the beginning, it is a sign that this practice is very good and you're purifying your karma. Okay?
I've never heard that before. Especially the dream portion where it says if you experience bad dreams, that's bad karma. You have to experience that. I get the experience portion. You have to, in a sense, pay for your bad karma. Meaning that if you do bad karma, bad things going to happen to you later on in life. And that's kind of paying for the bad karma that you've done. And in a sense, purifying, from what he's saying. I'm trying to understand the language he used, like purifying and merits. Trying to understand how he means by these words. I understand what the words mean, but how he specifically means them to mean. Purifying, of course, means it's pretty straightforward from him. It's when you accumulate bad karma, it's going to come back and get to you. And whenever it gets to you, you experience the bad karma, and then it becomes purified because that bad karma is spent, dissipates, purified. It's no longer bad karma anymore because you've experienced it. But interestingly, you can experience it in your dreams. I've not heard that. That'd be a pretty easy way to experience all your bad karma. It's just all in a dream. I mean, when you wake up sweating and stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, that was terrifying. I wonder how much bad karma that was. It's really weird though to say it in the dream. I don't know about that. Because it'd be kind of weird because when you wake up, you realize it's all fake anyway. So it's like, well, shoot, if I can spend all the bad karma in the dream, I'll do it that way instead of actually happening in real life. Well, anyways, let me know about that one. Is that something that's in, I guess, Advaita Vedanta or other Eastern philosophies, that you can spend your bad karmas in your dream if it so happens to manifest that way? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, this is my reaction to why is life so difficult, why are we very shy. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.